Okay, and welcome back. And well, this is the celebration area. You can speak to different people. Nice, there's a warrior still, whatever. The queen. But again, don't really get much. Let's start with first Enchanter Irving.
It is very strange to hear so many speak of a mage in such glowing terms. Deserved, of course, but still not what I am accustomed to. I must thank you, however, for freeing the circle from our shackles. That was most unexpected indeed. You could have asked for anything.
I did what I thought was right.
Most would have asked for wealth, for power. Thank you. This is a gift we will not abuse. Now, I should leave you to your celebration. Uldred's revolt has left me very quick to tire these days. Retirement will come soon, I think.
Well, I'll finish first Enchanter Irving. Let's speak with Liliana. Isn't that petrol woman who's worried about the wind all the time? No.
So here we are. The conquering heroine has won the day, and now she takes her bow and exits the stage. A fine ending.
But does the herring get her girl?
Yes. Yes. She most certainly does. You know, I can't help now but think of my vision. Whether it was the Maker sending me to you or whatever, it was a good thing. I thought I was supposed to save you, to show you the way. But it seems it was meant to be the other way around. Odd how that works, isn't it?
I think you did plenty.
Flatterer. So, if I heard right, you'll be leaving soon. Any room for an extra body on your travels?
That was the plan.
Good. I imagine that whatever you get up to will be anything but boring. At any rate, I should let you get back to your celebration before someone drags you away. I look forward to seeing you again afterwards.
Right, to end this part, what you have to do is, you walk up to these guys over here.
Are you ready, my lady? The crowds outside are getting restless.
And choose the top one.
Right. I'll take you there now. Follow me.
Okay, in months that followed the wedding, Alistair and Nora proved themselves a surprisingly effective pair. Alistair spent a great deal of time at court, showing willingness to learn the art of gunning from Nora and often deferring to her judgment. And no one was more surprised by this than Nora herself. The two of them made numerous outings to Denerim or settlements in Ferelden, supervising the reconstruction process and greeting their subjects personally. Most of the commoners' enthusiastic approval may said the chaos and civil war and Nightmeat were worth it for delivering such beloved monarchs. With the own Sash's ashes, Ferelden spread, chanting to war dignity, made announcements several months after the defeat of Darkspawn. The manuscript detailing his research and his experience with Unjustice Court drew interest among scholars throughout Phaedos. Some years later, Chantry announced that the resting place of the ashes had been found, was inspired by the pious people of Phaedos. Right, Monster Circle, Magi, Cleanse Spirits. The first time was pleased to declare this circle safe. All that could be said has been. Young Templar Kaelin. Kaelin, the threat that he's ever been. Social damaged. Shiny continued to explore men of the Irish community, and time became a new elder. Iron returned to Redcliffe. Tarek's rebuilding, he found village already bursting in league of leave. Many memories of those terrible nights facing the undead. Connor went to study in the circle. Silence Taylor, and easily passed the Owen to become the full mage, and his father Virgin went to the position into Vince to get formal study of the Fade. Young woman Caitlin then made to Denerim, used a small fortune received for her father's thought to open a foundry. So involving got a chance to meet Tegan again at court, and within months two of them married. but having made it to the den safely, with the money she was given, she opened a brewery of her own. Daeshars prospered. The Siege General, having earned much respect for their part in the battle, but human lands welcomed the wandering folk. The keeper Lanaya was respected both from the Danish as well as in the Ferelden court. She was a voice of reason. The other Danish clans would turn to her to help resolving disputes with human folk. In time, many of the clans moved to new land, providing the south near Ostagar, where their human neighbours. However, tensions soon rose again. Now, keeper Lanoya leadership kept peace alive. That's what you have to do to make sure the Danish prosper very well. Osmar King Baron proves himself a reformer. Time variation deep ties were pushed back and new ties were reclaimed. Certain found areas within the warrior Newcastle. Nations occurred. King then ruled alone. Some say the title was a wizardry. 12th Maid Dagna ultimately completed her studies that rebuilt Temple Tower. Circle Tower on the surface, and she follows a comprehensive history on how Limian vapours relate to the supply of magic. Again, with a great deal of attention. While the Emperor of Void was lost, rumours of its location crept into Orzammar years later, thanks to the defeat. The determined fifth man to locate the Emperor's remains. The Zone ruins. Blah blah blah. It's just what happens. New Goron was created, banned with his spirit taken on the fade. Not very smart, it went insane, killing the Shapens all destroyed. So they sealed away the research. Now this is the most important thing. I don't know if any of you are aware of this rumour. Simfam SP is probably behind the stupidness, but apparently a dog that's behind Sten in the celebration area is supposed to be Morrigan. This proves it can't be. As good as her word, Morrigan disappeared once the Archdemon was slain. Someone of Morrigan's description was travelling alone months later, heading west through the Frostback Mountains, and she may have been with child. There, she's left. No way of coming back. The dog is not Morrigan. Anyone who believes it otherwise is a fool. As for Kira's companions, they went their separate ways. When Kira finally left them to continue her travels, Liliana went with her, electing to remain with the woman she loved. They continued their adventures together, at least for a time. As White Lands began to heal, the Grey Warden slowly rebuilt the Order in Nanomanthine and discovered that the fight against the Darkspawn was not yet complete. Although the Horde was routed, had dissolved upon the Archdemon's death, many of the more powerful Darkspawn survived to organise roving war bands that preyed both upon the land and upon each other. I won't be recording the final credits because I don't want to have that trouble with copyright, so I shall be skipping it. These war bands with havoc, blah blah blah, it's all lane, cross-country, prayers, blah blah. These are the tales yet to be told. This tale ended when Kira sank her blade in the Archdemon's head and destroyed it forever. It was not the last that Ferelden would hear of her, however. Okay. Trust me, I don't want to have a problem with copyright. Hopefully, pause game, bring radio manual to issue orders to your party. You can queue up one action for each member. These actions will execute when the game resumes. Basically, that will actually happen if you got it as hold rather than toggle, like I have. Actually, it's gone, but you'll slow down with the. Okay, now the game is over, you may continue to experience further adventures through downloadable content. Chronologically, these exploits take place prior to the Siege General, from all as a Bioware enjoy. Okay, so we just Camp for the night. Try to place traps at choke points where enemies have a higher chance of hitting them off. Of course, basically that's where all the traps are in the game. There's enemy sets. So look at tower, major, right, so
I see it found some augmentation crystals. I was not even aware it knew about them. Well done. So, what does it think? They don't make me look any wider, do they? I find I'm already too wide as it is.
nope, they're quite slimming.
It must be the vertical pattern it put them in. Did it know to do that? It must have. I think it should find some more as soon as possible. I want to glitter from ear to ear, so to speak.
Wow, you really are high on looks, aren't you?
I have a question for it, if it will indulge me.
Right.
My understanding is that it encountered the smith named Caradin. He who was responsible for the creation of the golems, that he had become a golem himself. What I do not know is what became of him. Why did he not return with it? I would have many questions for him.
He killed himself.
He killed himself? Ah, I would doubt it, but no. I see it is telling the truth. May I ask what became of the Anvil of the Void, assuming that it too still existed?
It was destroyed as Caradin wished.
And it was no doubt for the best. With Caradin also goes any chance I might have had of finding answers on my past, I assume. Tell me, did it find out anything from Caradin? Anything at all about how I might have been made?
The Anvil made golems from living souls.
Meaning that I was once a living creature? That seems highly unlikely, and more than a little insulting. Is it certain?
I'm not trying to insult you, Shell.
Was I forced into this? Or simply glad to abandon a frail body? And more importantly, who was I? I simply must know. I cannot help but believe that answers lie elsewhere in the deep roads. We must look.
Let's go.
If it can search the deep roads, I may remember something. If not, then I will have to wait.
Okay, new quest, Golem's Memories. I shall have to do that in another video because this one's getting a bit too long for me. See you next time.